Thomas Jefferson to James Madison in 1784. Taxes should be proportioned to what may be annually spared by the individual. What? He must have been just being a crackpot. No. Here, 1785, letter to James Madison. Another means of silently lessening the inequality of property is to exempt all from taxation below a certain point and to tax the higher portions of property in geometrical proportion as they rise. Finally, those seeking profits, were they given total freedom, this is a 1816 letter to Samuel Kercheval, were they given total freedom, would not be the ones to trust to keep government pure and our rights secure. Indeed, it has always been those seeking wealth who are the source of corruption in government. No other depositories of power have ever yet been found which did not end in converting to their own profit the earnings of those committed to their charge, in other words, their employees. I am not among those who fear the people. They, and not the rich, are our continued dependents, are our dependents for continued freedom. And then he goes on about a free market. He said a free market where corporations reign supreme, just like the oppressive governments of old, would transform America until the bulk of the society is reduced to mere automatons of misery, to have no sensibilities left but for sinning and suffering. Then begins indeed the bellum omnium in omnia, which some philosophers observe to be so general in this world, have mistaken it for the natural instead of the abusive state of man. So I say no more billionaires. You may have wealth up to $999,999,999.99, and after that, we the people take all of it. Neal Asbury strongly disagrees with me. I think I could reasonably say he is an entrepreneur and host of Truth for America, a syndicated radio talk show. He's the author of Conscientious Equity. Truthforamerica.com is the website. And Neal, I'm guessing you're not a billionaire.
No, I'm not. But, I hope one day I will be. If I get there, that's great. But, for me, Tom, I hope that you become a billionaire. You'll probably become before I'm a billionaire. And I would wish you success, and I would be so happy for you because I know you're a generous person. And a lot of that wealth would eventually be transferred to charities. And whatever charities that you would pick, I'm sure they would be great charities to receive that money. So I wish you all the success to get there before I do.
Neal, A, neither one of us will ever be billionaires, and you and I both know it. And B, let me just ask a simple question. It's one that one of my callers asked earlier. I thought it was brilliant. Which would be better for America, to have one billionaire or to have 1,000 millionaires?
Well, Tom, that's a hypothetical. What I think would be better for America...
It's not a hypothetical.
What I think would be better for America is if we all believe that we could be a billionaire.
No. Wait a second. What's better for America, to have one billionaire or to have 1,000 millionaires?
Well, I guess it's whoever that billionaire is. And many of our billionaires are very generous people. A lot of our universities, a lot of the foundations, a lot of the medical research in this country have been funded by billionaires. Look at what Bill Gates has been doing with his wealth.
You are defending,
and it goes on and on and on.
You are defending a form of governance, and let's admit it. This is a form of governance. It's economic, but it's, as Jefferson pointed out, it's still a form of governance in which basically we rely on the generosity of our kings, our economic kings. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I'm not, because we have relatively very, very, very few billionaires compared to the amount of millionaires we have. But, when I was starting out, and I know, Tom, that you're a very successful entrepreneur too, I never believed I could reach the position that I've been able to reach. And it's that dream that I've had, the dream that you've had that kept us going. We kept taking risk. We kept creating jobs.
But Neal, neither of us are billionaires.
We always have the hope to do it.
I can't speak for you, but I'm not even, actually I don't want to get into it, but neither one of us are rich. Let's stipulate that.
When I left the university, Tom, I had so much student debt, but I had a dream and I had a passion, and I went out there.
That's all wonderful. I'm totally in favor of that. What I'm saying is, after you've made $1 million 1,000 times and you have it, that after that you get to say, we as a society say to you, enough already. Let me again share with you. But
it makes no sense to me.
Well, here's Jefferson's logic to this, and he said, on the one hand, we can either have an egalitarian society. And keep in mind, 1791 was the year that the United States saw its first millionaire. John Hancock was the richest man to sign the Declaration of Independence. His total net worth at that time was $700,000 in today's dollars. Jefferson died in bankruptcy. Washington died in bankruptcy. These guys were the upper middle class, and by many standards, they were probably not as wealthy as you or me, although they had a lot of land. Land was worth virtually nothing back then. It was almost free. So anyhow, Jefferson said, I am not among those who fear the people. They, and not the rich, are our dependents for continued freedom. We must make our choice between, and then he gave these two options. And one, he says, between economy and liberty on the one hand, which means having, if you read, in fact, as I read this whole thing, you'll understand that I'm not taking this out of context. I'm literally saying economy and liberty. In other words, having a free state, but not having rich people in that free state, having a large middle class. And as Christopher Freeland writes in her new book, Plutocrats, that era was the most egalitarian time in the history of the United States. We must make our choice between economy and liberty or profusion and servitude. In other words, billionaires and working people. Otherwise, as the people of England are, our people like them must come to labor 16 hours of the 24, and the 16 being insufficient to afford us bread, we must live as they do now on oatmeal and potatoes, have no time to think, no means for calling the mismanagers to account, but be glad to obtain subsistence by hiring ourselves to rivet their chains on the necks of our fellow sufferers. I mean, I can go on, where he gets.
Hey, Tom, I mean, those were beautiful words, but the founding fathers came here for freedom, and one of those freedoms was economic freedom. And economic freedom means that you can go as far as you possibly can.
No.
And talking about Thomas Jefferson, did you ever go to Monticello? I mean, the guy was doing pretty good. You ever go to Mount Vernon? I mean, George Washington was doing pretty good for himself. So I don't think that these were poor people.
He died broke. Having a big house and a lot of land did not mean you were wealthy back then. But here again, this is Jefferson, a letter to William Giles. He said. He was talking about the wealthy of the day. He said, now look to a single and splendid government of an aristocracy founded on banking institutions and moneyed in corporations, under the guise and cloak of their favored branches of manufactures, commerce, and navigation, riding and ruling over the plundered plowman and beggared yeomanry. This will be to them the next blessing of monarchy.
The American Revolution was about getting rid of a oppressive government that taxed them to death.
No, they were throwing Neal, you got it wrong.
So they could be free of this.
Neal, please read the history of the Boston Tea Party. It was not the oppression of England that the Stamp Act was all about. The Tea Act of 1773. The Tea Act of 1773 was a tax cut. It was the biggest tax cut in the history of the North American continent, and it was the biggest tax cut in the history of the East India Company, and it allowed the East India Company to blow out of business all the small tea entrepreneurs, and that's why they revolted. They were trying to pull a Walmart on us, and these guys said no.
Tom, I mean, I must confess, I never heard it explained that way, but seeing you a supporter of the Tea Party, I must say I'm a little bit surprised today.
You can read there's a first-person account. There was one guy, George Robert Twelftree Hughes, who actually was there at the Boston Tea Party. He's the only one who wrote an account of it. And his book is, it's not in print anymore. I have a copy. I'd be glad to share it with you, and you could read it. I have a copy published in the late 1700s, and he lays the whole story out. These guys were furious because the British government cut the tax on tea to the East India Company.
Tom, if we're going to be a country that envies success, this country has no future.
I'm not talking about success. If you have over $1 billion, you are dangerous to democracy. That's my point.
Well, Tom, thanks for having me again. I'm always great to be on your show.
Well, yeah, okay. Neal, I appreciate it too. And please know the breaks are hard. It wasn't a soft break. I didn't call for the break there. I was hoping that you could have the last word, and I appreciate you being with us. 15 minutes past the hour. Thank you, Neal.